If you know JavaScript well enough, you don't really need the other two. But if you need more help, they will help you get where you want. There's some more thing I wanted to say. Okay. Do we have time to show some popular packages? Yes. Okay. The most popular package for Meteor right now is the Iron Router. It takes care of routing in Meteor. So if you want, for example, to have different pages, you can use it to, for example, set admin section and set a page for chat, a chat for the homepage, and a page for the homepage, and so on. So this is a very, very popular. Again, this is the most popular package in Meteor. Popular enough that I think it should have been a built-in part of Meteor itself. One resource I didn't mention that is very good to find new packages is atmosphere.js.com. Let's say you are looking for Twitter packages. You type what you look for and you see what packages have been developed by the community. It's very easy in Meteor to share your packages with the world, the same way it's easy with NPM to share node packages with the world. So the community around Meteor is very vibrant and lots of very high quality packages are being released every day. Another package that I think is very, very popular and you should know about is CollectionFS. CollectionFS deals with storing files in Meteor projects. You can store, it has extensions for storing the files in Amazon Web Services if you want. You can store them on the disk. You can use many ways of storing your files. So CollectionFS is another one. And another one is Simple Schema. In Mongo, because it's a non-SQL database, we don't have schemas. That's an amazing thing. Okay, don't think for a moment that I think that the SQL way of having schemas and having to migrate your schemas every time you want to change your tables is a good idea. From time to time, you want to validate some properties, some fields in your collections. The Simple Schema package will help you to do that kind of things, to do sterilizations, validations, set default values, and so on. So that's another one. There is a package that I've developed that has to do with internationalization in Meteor. It's called TAP I18N. If you want either your application or your package to be available in more than one language, you can use it to set translations for the strings in your project. So, for example, here. If you have a template that is named messages today, how many messages you have today, you have an inbox status key, which later you'll have in your translations file. For example, this is the English translation file. Hey, something, you have received one new message today. So the %s will get its data from Daniel, and the count is for telling whether it's singular or plural, whether you got only one message or new messages. Okay, it has much more features than that, but whoever is interested, you can go and check it for other things. And that's basically it. Do you have any questions?
I always have a question. I'm interested in the deployment and scaling story? Because as you said, like the Meteor hosting is meant for development, and
Yeah.
how do you get to thousands of concurrent users?
To answer that, we have to distinguish a few things. First is the fact that you have the database, and second is the fact that there are sockets. Okay. The scaling of each one of them is you have to tackle on its own, because if you got a database that you're able to scale, then in order to have more instances connected with sockets to it, then you just need more instances to add more instances.
Are there tools? Is there a single tool people use, or what do you?
Ask again.
What tool do you actually use?
To be honest, I haven't scaled yet any Meteor project, but as far as I know, there are already very big projects that use Meteor. I can try to name a few.
I guess in my context, I'm used to using Chef or Ansible and AWS and just adding instances to grow my distributed database, and then separately different API application instances and such. But then I'm choosing my own tools. I guess, is there a specialized Meteor deployment tool?
There is one. I don't remember its name at the moment, but there is one which is very popular. But again, what I do in Meteor specifically is to develop packages. So the things that involve with DevOps and scaling, I didn't touch them. But again, I can refer you to big projects that, and I'm talking about startups that are well funded, that use Meteor as their choice of, as their platform for their main product, not as for a side product. And so I assume that it's possible, and there are good ways to do it.
I guess as like I don't know, I'm kind of anti-Mongo in general, so starting a project and saying you're going to be tied into Mongo forever.
Oh wait. Okay. So let me answer it differently. Okay. What database do you use?
Postgres plus React and Cassandra when necessary. So React is actually very similar to Mongo, but it has a different distribution strategy.
I see. Meteor itself is very tied to Mongo only because it's the first database they are supporting. Okay, we already have a package that supports Redis, for example. Okay, and once you see how Meteor reactivity is being implemented, you see that it's very easy to add support for more databases. The problem is that I'm not sure, for example, for Postgres, whether for sure there is a package. I'm not sure how good it is. Okay, so you run into the question of whether you're willing to devote development time for it. Okay, in the future, I assume that more and more databases will have good support in Meteor. But to answer whether currently, if you want to use other database, it's a good choice, I can't tell. Okay. Yes?
As a beginner, how did Meteor compare to other single-page platform like AngularJS, or other? What is the strength and weakness?
I think that the main strength in Meteor is the fact that it doesn't solve only the client problem, it solves the full stack problem. Okay, so like the case of Java, I'd say that I didn't use much Angular, so maybe I say some things that are not correct, but correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, Angular has to do with, in Angular you have to define something like model view controller in the client side, right? So you have to support these, you have to define these structures for your client, but then you have to also define this structure both for your server side, which might be written in something completely different than JavaScript, maybe PHP, maybe Python, and so on. For me, I think that you lose a lot because when you use Angular, because instead of writing once what you want and having the platform for taking care of everything for you, like you've seen, it takes care for the database, for publishing the data, for receiving data from the user, it takes care of everything. You are solving only half of the problem, I think not in a good way, even, because I oppose the model view controller idea. I don't think it's a good idea. I think it adds complexity and you don't gain much from it. I have experience with using Backbone, and it was, I think it was a waste of time to start defining models for your client. As you've seen here, in order to create, the amount of I lost my thinking. What I want to say is that the amount of code that I needed to write in order to develop that chat was very little. Okay, and the more I think that the less you need to write, the easier it is to maintain later. Okay, now, and also I think it's very intuitive. The result is very intuitive to understand because you have the templates, you have collections, you have, in that case you have messages. You're playing with these messages, you're requesting these messages. By the way, the same way both in the server and the client, you're doing it transparently. So let's say that you want to get all the messages a specific user sent, okay, to show only them. Then